last week, me and Wale got a little hot.
You stood up. I was like, he stood up out his chair and stuff. Y'all need to stop.
You made me mad.
I ain't gonna lie, I made my lady mad. You know what I'm saying? Me and my lady had a conversation, and you know what I'm saying? It was a great conversation, and we just kept growing.
What happened when y'all got home?
She grabbed her right by the drapes.
You know what's crazy?
Exactly. She's his lady.
Huh?
It was confirmed that she's your lady.
Yeah, she's my lady.
That's your boo.
Okay. Cool.
Definitely.
What happened when y'all got home?
What happened when you got
This
home?
is therapy.
So what did we learn?
Before the cameras came on, I asked you if you talked to your wife about the podcast, and you didn't answer. So don't damn me act. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all too spicy.
I wasn't in trouble. First
Can
of
we
all,
move
so
on?
The Aries Pisces.
my girl was proud of me.
Yeah, my girl was.
And look. I wasn't here.
I'll
But we
say
gonna
this.
move on. I ain't trying to hear all that.
Exactly.
Get to the whatever you trying to talk
Wow,
about.
I love Will.
Y'all over here hissy fitting this.
Yo,
Y'all
we
ain't
not
trying
trying
to.
to podcast like that. We just gotta let shit like natural
Okay, this is
flow.
Black Group Therapy, and I'm not gonna lie.
What's
When I
up,
went
yo,
home,
man?
it was therapy. You know what I'm saying? I really had a conversation with my lady, and again, my relationship dynamics is not. I don't have a traditional relationship, so you know what I'm saying. We understood what needed to happen, and we understood. I did a lot of self accountability, so I appreciate blundering like that. You know what I'm saying? The fact that can still get out of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to grow past that. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, like being honest right now, like all jokes aside, like me and Wale, we talked like on and off throughout the whole week. I had to just call him up because people was hitting me up like, "Yo, you should have punched that dude," and I was like, "That's my brother. What is he talking about?" And it was like, "Yo, dude was tweaking." I'm like, "Yeah," and I had to post I had to post a picture of me and Wale chilling. Like, "Yo, like we argue, but at the end of the day, we still family." You know, and like
Saw that post.
Yeah, because like people be like so quick to cancel you nowadays.
Half
If you
the people,
say
you
one
know,
thing that they don't like.
I'm not gonna lie, half the people that, you know what I'm saying, that are talking to you, they don't know me also. And I
Exactly.
forgive them for that because I work security, you know what I'm saying?
Growth.
And I don't play with y'all.
And the thing is like we be so quick to give up on each other. So quick to give up on each other, man. And then like it made me wonder like, is that part of the reason why black people it's so hard for black people to work together, to get business done together? Because we so quick to give up on each other. But let it be somebody else who do us wrong. We'll forgive them in a minute.
Let me ask you guys who's
You
been
know what I'm
watching.
saying?
You guys who's been here. The first podcast, you know what I'm saying, we talked about ego. Do you agree that in the second episode, both of our egos, we both ego trip?
If you consider ego proving a point, I feel like you both needed to prove your points. Whatever that point might have been, that point being, in my opinion, my observation from you, I don't do labels, I don't do titles. What we have is what we have, and you don't need to know. You needed to prove that point. And John's hand, he was more so like, I need to prove the point, because if you say what you say, it's gonna speak towards how long you've been in a relationship, and you can make the comment that you made previously, and you're not doing it like me.
I don't think I had
And it was two
any-
different dynamics.
I don't think I had any ego at all. But I probably shouldn't be the one to say that.
I think that both of you guys did kind of ego trip, because it's like y'all did all that arguing, and I mean we still didn't come up. I mean y'all still didn't come up with a solution or whatever on that podcast. So it was like, you know, de-escalation kind of was needed. I kind of tried to step in. I think somebody muffed me or shit. I felt like
It wasn't.
I got muffed. Because I'm a peacemaker. I like the peace, you know, but
It wasn't gonna.
Oh no!
But you know what's crazy?
Tati.
We talked throughout the whole week. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the whole week. You know what I'm saying? Cause I was like, I kept telling you like, yo, man. You know what I'm saying? Cause immediately after the you know what I'm saying, I recognized immediately, cause I can't be preaching that it is ego tripping and then I'm ego tripping. You know what I'm saying? So like I went home and I was like, yo, gee, you know what I'm saying? And then you compare me to Stick Me now. I was like, yo, that's a fact.
That's
I
why
look
you
like
had that picture up there. Real
What time is it?
But I appreciate it because I did a lot of self-reflecting, and you know what I'm saying. I can say that my household is happy.
Mm-hmm.
It always was, and it always will be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we know our communication, and I pride myself. And as long as our home knows what's going on, it doesn't matter what anybody else's think. And I think that was my point to that point. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we talked for real, and we grown, and we always gonna keep growing because we are brothers. So
Yeah, man.
I don't give a fuck what these people say. I don't give a fuck what they think, and I'm gonna remain like that.
Do that, man. At the end of the day.
But I love you guys because some of y'all told me to come back, and I appreciate that. So cheers to y'all.
I'm glad everybody just seeing that y'all could sit down and talk about this and come up with a solution as adults instead of, yelling at each other and just talking at each other and not talking to each other, trying to get that understanding. I feel like that's what we need to do more within the black community, no matter who it is, whether it's your friend, your sibling, your parent, or somebody you just do business with. Like, we have to sit down and communicate like this in order to get understanding and get through those solutions. Because at the end of the day, it's not y'all two versus each other. It's y'all two against the problem.
Yeah.
And people need to realize that.
That shit was right.
You know,
that conversation though. They don't like that. I know I hate confrontation, so that whole you first gotta sit here and you first gotta hear what they got to say. And you gotta say your spiel, and thinking that they gonna say something back that's gonna affect you. That alone to give a nigga anxiety. So with that, I think that's why it's easy for to be like, I'll cut you off. That's why we see all these memes on Instagram, because it's easy. People shouldn't have been like, yeah, you should have knocked him out. They should have been like, let me talk to your brother. Why you get so angry, G? Why you
and
so
some
mad?
people enter into conversations looking for the confrontation.
Yeah.
You ever see
Yeah.
somebody come in and they just hot,
Right.
and you be like, you good? Yeah, I'm good. What? Like, oh, this nigga was ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
can you imagine that when you did post that, I called you almost immediately when I saw it, because I knew that if they watched the interview from a side, you know what I'm saying, they would have seen the whole picture. But when you showed that, they look for that. So it's funny that you say people go into conversations sometimes looking for, you know what I'm saying, that's a real perspective. That's a real thing that's going on with our community, and I'm glad you brought it up on a platform called Black Group Therapy, because that's what we talk about.
Because like when we started it, it was like, yo, the very first episode, we didn't know what we was gonna call it. We was like, yo, this is Squadcast.
Right.
Squad.
And I was like, yo, and when I talked to Sylvia and when I talked to Trail, I was like, yo, let's just do the first episode, and like based off of the feel, I'm gonna pray to the Most High, He's just gonna give it to us, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was like, when the episode came out, it was like Black Group Therapy. What y'all think?
Yes.
I was like,
And that's why it's like, like with this podcast, it's like, do we want to run it like a straight up podcast? Yo, let's talk about all the hot issues that's going on in the
Yeah, it's
media,
boring.
or do we want to come through and talk about stuff that's timeless, right? Things that's like, get some stuff off our minds, get some stuff off of our chest. Like, what do we want to do? Because if we talk about like what's hot this week, it's not gonna be hot next year, and then this podcast is gonna be obsolete.
Absolutely.
So what do y'all think? What do y'all think? What type of like podcast do we really want to have?
I think we should talk about the conflicts within our community.
I feel like we should not even call this a podcast.
It's a Black Group
It's a
Therapy,
real
for real.
conversation. I mean, like, you
Real
feel me?
shit.
Like, one, I want to address why they was trying to gas up the situation. Like, can we make it not cool for people to gas up situations? Because most of the people who trying to gas y'all up ain't gonna box. You know
Speaking
what
of
I'm
that,
saying?
speaking of that, what do you think about people was trying to gas up Bow Wow situation?
When he got beat up at a girl.
That's
not,
just internet
that's
tech,
ignorance. It's ignorance. And I got very irritated because it was like, okay, now I'm reading all these posts and stuff, and everybody trying to be conscious and woke now, and, you know, saying certain things. And I'm just like, it's always kind of been bogus for just people to fight each other anyway. Like, that's kind of bogus, you know what I'm saying? And for them to take it to that point to where that man face all scratched up.
So what should happen to the woman who whooped him up like that?
I feel like the same thing that would happen to a man if the man hit the woman.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question. So how do women feel when the abuse is reversed, like the gender? How do women feel about the abuse when the gender is reversed? You know what I'm saying? When another woman is beating a man, or when a man, because we know how we feel when a man beats a woman. We know how it feels when a father beats, or when parents beat their kids. We know how the ignorance of just people
Touching
fighting.
or violating anybody in any way without permission is bogus. Male, female, cat, dog, whatever.
So what should happen to her?
Violence is bogus.
She should go to jail, huh?
His sister should beat her up. We need to get his sisters and his cousins together. They need to go and train.
And then I'm all about how do we not get there?
I mean, Bow Wow.
Yeah, it's
Bow
one thing to
Wow.
say I'm gonna punish you and this what you get, this the consequences, but how do we stop it from happening in the beginning?
Right.
Like even like you all in the heated conversation, like you got heated, but something in you said, this my brother, and I'm gonna, chill. I'm not to the point where how your friends were saying you should have knocked him out.
What?
For what? It's a passionate conversation. He feel how he feel because he's passionate. I feel how I feel because I'm passionate. So we're just getting that out.
Right.
Yeah, it seemed heated, but truth be told, it was passion. It was because of what you felt.
Yeah.
So how do we get to the point of getting heightened enough to express ourselves passionately without taking it to the next level of now I gotta touch you, I gotta hit you, I gotta strike you.
I think.
You know what I think? I think some people will never get to that point, and we just have to accept that. I think that's kind of why laws exist. That's why rules exist, right? For people who just can't get it together. But I mean, then at the same.
Or on their way to getting it together. It's hard for me to just give up.
Because I feel like that's like a learned skill. Like if you're never taught how to control your emotions and your behavior from the beginning, you can't be expected to act like that and control it as an adult if you never got it as a kid.
For real.
So it's just like, I think the law, like she said, is for people that still haven't quite got there yet, and it's supposed to be like, okay, this is your time to reflect on what happened and how can I not end up in this situation again, even though it don't really go like that.
I feel like if everybody want to be woke though, like if this is the whole thing and time of everybody being woke and in tune with everything, it's like be in tune with yourself. Like I can admit I was a person who being little and even into my older age, being an adult. Wow, you feel me?
You ever hit a woman before?
No, but I hit a lot of guys though.
Did you ever?
And I admit I was wrong in a lot of
Have you ever been hit by a woman before?
Yeah. A lot of the women in my family, they all just
they
aggressive like that.
They bow out you? Or?
Yeah, I had a couple of my cousins put the fried pan to the head real quick. Yeah.
Anybody else?
You know what I feel like? I feel like being aggressive and fighting, that's like the basic human instinct.
Yeah,
it's animalistic. So you do have to do a lot of growing spiritually and emotionally
within
and all
yourself.
that. Right. Self-awareness and stuff like that. Yeah. But too, look at our community. We kind of learn violence. America thrives off violence. Like we from a country where they scalp the fucking Native Americans, where we celebrate Al Capone and Scarface, and we celebrate Malcolm X and be like, oh, Martin Luther King, he ain't fight back.
Martin Luther King get more shine than Malcolm X.
I mean, he had a holiday,
Can I
and then you talk when you younger, somebody hit you, hit their ass.
Definitely did. I was waiting on that.
Can I make this broader?
Oh, he's a peaceful nigga.
Can I make this broader?
Yeah, because it deal with come back next week. Some of these discussions be for next week.
Just to make a conversation bigger, you know what I'm saying? I'm African, I'm Nigerian, and I've lived in Africa for 6 years where people get beat in schools, you know what I'm saying? Like, black people get beat in schools, not
Does
beat
that make it okay? Is it okay though? What are you saying?
Just let me just, you know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Flushing
A
on
discipline level, you know what I'm saying? Like in Nigeria or in Benin, when you're in school, you know what I'm saying? You don't get a B You know what I'm saying? They flug you. You don't pass a certain grade, they flug you. You're late to class, they flug you. You're
Define that.
What is that?
Flog. Define that for the
What's
people.
that?
Flog.
It's like you get
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. I feel like sometimes you guys make me feel like I'm crazy, I swear.
The accent that came out.
Flog is an American word.
But that's different from like being in a relationship with someone.
Can he
Yeah,
define
we're
flog
talking
for the
Flug
people?
is like when you get whipped. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll get whipped in school. You'll get whipped at home. Like there's a
With a whip, though.
Hold on. Shit. Even in America, you'll get beat with a belt, with a wire, whatever your mother can grab.
Right,
Really,
but,
you know
but
what
that's
I'm saying?
discipline. You're talking about discipline.
Yeah,
we
that's
talking
what he's
about
talking
like domestic violence.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I'm
Are you
saying?
trying to say culturally?
And I'm just saying, because you asked, should she be punished? You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking towards, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta come out with it, bro.
Different cultures.
You gotta come straight
It might
out
not
with
be
it.
his strong suit. It's all
You
right.
gotta
He's
even-
trying to figure it out. Are you trying to? Can I
Yeah.
assist?
Go ahead.
Maybe
go
you're
ahead.
trying to say like, from a cultural standpoint, it's not looked at as a bad thing whether it's a man hitting you or a woman hitting you in that country, where it's deemed a little
And it's
different
different
here.
from adults and being in school, because I'm talking about school. I'm talking about, because you're right, we are talking about domestic abuse. That's the real heart of the problem. You know what I'm saying? And
But
that,
school's where it starts.
you know what I'm saying? I'm saying culturally, what we allow and what we don't allow is very
different.
weird in today's, where everything is just, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about Bow Wow right now, but most of the people, like, oh, he got beat by a girl. He got beat by a girl. Some people gonna talk about it for a day, and then the next day, it's, what's the next news? You
Like,
know
what
I'm
would the
saying?
media? What would the
And
media
I know we
say?
jumping. That's a whole jump, right? I know it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
All
but
right,
like, what would
fuck
the
me.
media say if it was like the reverse, right? If the girl's
Oh,
face
yeah.
Oh, they
was
would've told
scratched
him off.
up, and now allows
Yeah.
them to like,
It's over with.
I don't think
All
that.
in show.
I don't personally think it's okay. I really don't. You put women at this high regard and then you don't. Oops, sorry. See, I ain't drunk.
That's
enough.
that wine on your mind.
No, because
Dripping
at
down
one
your
moment you can say,
spine.
don't hit a woman, don't touch a woman, this and the third. But then, okay, let's really talk about other things that we need in this world. Like, put us in a high regard on both ends. That's the only reason I get upset about that. Like, we could talk about a whole different thing about how women do certain things that men do when it comes to touching men and doing different things. I just feel like the woman should be punished. Like, it's not funny. Because if it had been Bow Wow doing it, look how they did Rihanna and Chris Brown. We don't know the situation at all.
Yeah.
You don't know if that girl had nails, rings, or anything, and that might have been a scratch. Either way, y'all both drew blood and y'all both have marks on y'all face. Y'all need to both be punished or put that high standard on that woman like you did Chris Brown.
You
I'm
know
not
what's
saying that it's
crazy?
okay.
Hey,
What a crazy thing,
But look-
real quick, a crazy thing is, like, I feel like a lot of people really, like, put this whole stigma of a woman is weaker than a man or a woman is less dangerous than a man. Now, I tell y'all this, I fought in the ring for, I couldn't tell y'all how many years. I done seen countless women go for their black belts, go for different belts, go for different things within the martial arts world. And they had to fight dudes in order to get it, to prove themselves. And a lot of them, majority of them, overwhelmed the guys who they fought. So it's like, I come up with that thought, like, women are the same amount of dangerous as men, like, no less dangerous.
More
They look at
dangerous.
body-
More
Hey, but
dangerous
look,
because
I would think so.
Emotional level.
The IV
I'ma tell you
Right.
something. That
It's just a
man hit
thinking
me.
level.
You think I'm gonna use my fist? No. Chairs, bricks,
Right.
knives,
Yeah.
everything getting thrown. So in that same space, if you see my face and his face, you should probably charge me because I didn't fuck this man up with a brick or something. So I feel like I'm a woman. I just believe in do the right thing. Stop telling these girls, okay, you can hit him, or telling these dudes, okay, don't hit her. No, if I hit a man, I expect to get my ass hit back, and that's just facts. That don't
I
make me
don't.
brag.
I don't. I'm sorry.
I don't
Motherfucker,
think-
if you
I-
hit me.
It's
Look, brother, them coming. They are coming,
But
bitch. They
you,
are.
you gotta live life with
No,
the
but
with
I
that
feel like
expectation.
that-
But with the Bow Wow
Back, but I don't
situation,
expect
do we
to
know?
hit a man either? Like,
It's the
I-
right,
right.
It's-
I think,
Nobody
I
put
think,
their
I
hands
think,
on
I think,
nobody.
I
But
think
do
this
we
is
know
the
the-
case. This is what we. I think this is the case. I think at the end of the day, this is not a situation where you can like blanketly say this is what should happen. It's like a case by case type of situation. I think what the best way to handle it is it comes with maturity, and hopefully someone can grow mature enough to know how to treat themselves, treat someone else, know how a relationship really should be, and say, hey, if you can't be with me without putting your hands on me, we don't need to be together. That can come from a man, and that can come from a woman. Both of them.
Yeah.
Gotta say that. Yo, if your wife is putting her hands on you, you have to be like, yo, if you can't be with me without putting your hands on me, we just can't be together. And she has to know that too. Like the whole I'm finna call my cousins up, like that's great. But if you run back to them the next week, what's the purpose?
That, or if you get into it and whoever you get into it with kills you, then what you ain't calling nobody.
So
you
like,
gonna be in the grave.
I just think it should be. You say this because I done been on the end of being in a domestic situation and then being a person to deliver the domestic situation.
Oh shit.
So I feel like, and I don't know what happened with the Bow Wow situation. Like I said, I feel like it'll depend on what the context of the situation is. How did they get to the argument? But I mean, it's not okay for the woman, like Sister said. Like, if I hit a dude, I'm expecting you to hit me back. That means I'm ready to fight. Because if I put my hands on you, I was always taught, you hit somebody, they gonna hit you back.
Right.
So I feel like I ended up being a person that, like, I had to mature over time and take on that concept of, like John just said, if I gotta beat you, then I don't need you. And I tell guys the same thing because I don't really believe in that if a female hits you, you don't hit her back. People used to always think I was wrong about this in grammar school, but my brother used to come get me to fight females all the time, and I used to be like, oh, she hit you first? Did you hit her back? Well, don't come get me till you hit her back, because you don't let no female walk up on you and hit you regardless. If you already told her you don't play like this, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the third, then you make her stop, because at some point, some women have to learn that you do not put your hands on a man.
My question is, how do we know that she wasn't defending herself?
You don't know.
Let me just put this out here. Let me just throw this out here. Because I deliver domestic violence. And I don't want nobody hitting me.
I'm just sitting up
But
there
because I don't
between two. Two of the most
and I hear
violent.
it and I get it, but I don't feel like, I feel like sometimes men get out of pocket with women in a way that they wouldn't get out of pocket with a man, because he would have beat you, he would have did this. So you try to disrespect me. So I feel like if I did put my hands on you, I probably did it because you disrespected me verbally. I don't care if it was.
But verbal abuse is no excuse.
Verbal abuse is no excuse.
Physical
Verbal
abuse.
abuse is no excuse. But like I said, if you feel like you can come at women all the time, real tough and loud and all that, but you don't do it to a man, them type of men act like bitch niggas, and I'm gonna hit you.
But I think that's
What's the resolve? It's no resolve. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying
the
that's
right
what,
way to handle that is to walk away.
The right way could be that, but I'm just saying don't be yelling all in my face and thinking like, oh, she not gonna hit me. I be telling every man, give me distance, because
you gotta warn them. You gotta be
that.
like, yo, back up.
Yeah, because if I hit you, then you like, oh, well, she hit me first, but you all in my face, and you wouldn't do that to him. You wouldn't do it to him. You said the other day, I'm talking in general. So talk in general when you yelling at me. Don't sit there and be like, I'm talking to you. No, talk in general.
Right, keep that energy consistent.
That's a nigga that just been bullied his whole fucking life. He just needs somebody to take it out on. Like, nigga, you been bullied your whole fucking life.
So look,
Now you wanna fight me?
moving on, yo. So you said earlier about like the Rihanna and Chris Brown situation. Chris Brown just got into some more shit. Like, he was in Paris. Y'all heard about that?
But that wasn't true, though.
It wasn't true, right?
True. And the person that did it was really somebody that was like literally a small person in his camp, not even a major person.
Right.
A
So
small
like, what
person.
should happen to her?
What's gonna happen to her? She came out and admitted. She didn't drag this on. That's like the next day she was like, no, it wasn't Chris Brown, this, that, and third. She came out with a statement. So if a woman is honest enough to say, no, it wasn't Chris Brown, what do you mean should happen to her? She should continue to make case with that one person.
We live in
No, because she didn't say Chris Brown. She never came out her mouth and said Chris Brown did something to me. If the news reports decide to drag a situation and she comes out and fixes it, what do you want her to go to jail for?
So beyond Chris Brown, if situations like that come up,
You lie, you get caught lying.
Yeah, if you get caught lying, you're supposed to go to jail.
Take her ass to
Because
jail.
it's not even just Chris Brown's situation. You got other situations with boys who are prominent figures on the football team, the basketball team. Y'all go and party and pick these girls up, and then now she lied on you. Yeah, she should go to jail. She wanted to have fun.
It's hard for me to like out when a woman says to me that, you know, because I've had women come up to me and say like, yo, you know him on the scene, like it's dudes on the music scene. We be on the music scene, and they came up to me and be like, yo, don't rock with him. He raped me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Woo!
That is
you know, so it's like I have to believe them off bat, but then it's like I'm not finna like go and like do the research and like become Inspector Gadget or anything. But I'm just like, yo, bro, you got them allegations out here against you. You might want to address. But it's like if she's lying, like what the hell, bro? Why?
It's such a
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, because that is a tool that people can use to like destroy somebody.
And it's people, too many people
But
use
then it's
it.
also some shit that niggas be on.
Because you know, men don't always. I've seen it and it's happened to me. Men don't be accountable. You could literally be like, "You just touched me inappropriately." What? Girl, no, I didn't. Nigga, yes, you just did. And nobody is there to say yes or no, and it would kill me.
Real quick, what's the right way to like
That's so powerful that you said
hug
that.
a woman when you walk up to her and greet her? Like,
That's
do you
so
go
powerful that you said
over?
that.
Depends
or
on
you
relationship.
go-
If it's not, if it's platonic, you
If
go
it's
over.
Vegas, I ain't
If it's
right.
Vegas, you go under. And I think men
I
feel that.
have touches like when I see you, I be like, I might
Don't
hug
rub my
around
back
the
either.
hips. If
Nigga
that-
like to rub back.
Don't you
Don't
dare
rub my
rub my
damn back.
goddamn back.
Especially if you ugly. If you cute, maybe. My back hurt. You know what I'm saying? Bitch got a little extra weight. You know, if you rub it a little
Hold on,
bit.
what you say?
But if you ugly, don't do that.
Okay. So it depends on
Like, nigga rub when you hug, you rub your back.
And that go the same way for us.
right there, bro.
And that go the same way for
Wait,
us.
you know that love.
You be like,
You said
Don't grab me like that.
If he's ugly, he can't grab you and rub your back. But if he's not ugly, he
You don't
can.
mind. That's a fact.
But see,
I'm not saying it like that. I'm talking about platonic.
That's
You
a
know,
fact.
you know what? Don't get
I'm
honest
one of
though.
those
In
up downs.
in
That's like-
2019, in the workplace, a lot of stuff is considered sexual harassment that I don't think should be considered that. Like if you tell somebody they shoes nice and you say it twice, they say it's sexual harassment.
Huh?
I'm serious.
I ain't sweet.
I
Nigga
am
take it that
serious.
deep though.
I think Tati just hit the nail right on the
I'm
head.
serious.
People will just, it depends on how much they like.
Depends on who you are.
Like if
I'm
it's
trying to say that some people be around the work office. Not only do they just compliment her on her shoes, but they probably complimented Sally on how short her dress is. They complimented somebody else a year ago. Touched somebody. People hear stuff about you and they make up with them. It is not just he complimented me on shoes. No. This person is known for probably going around doing that, and she probably like, well, I'm not gonna be one of those people that you get to go
But see,
around
that's
doing
that's
that.
where
In
it's fucked up.
2019, though, it's the littlest things now that
Right,
they getting people.
and they could be somebody
The
say one
littlest.
thing to your ass. I ain't never talked to your ass before, kid. I ain't no hater at all, and I see you and I like your shoes
But
for
then
real.
think
And I'm
about
like,
it
them shoes.
think
is
about it like
hot.
this: if you take out
And
the
then
shoe
mad
because I think
sexual
that's-
harassment.
I
For
think
what?
that's- But that's kind of generic on the
You
statement.
feel-
People
it ain't
say good
generic,
morning-
'cause I done
people say
seen
good
that
morning
shit happen in
beautiful,
real
and people
life.
get upset about that. You tell somebody good morning beautiful, and I could say it to a woman, and somebody could say I sexually harassed them because I said good morning beautiful at work.
You ever
But-
met a motherfucker that do too much? There's a lot of them out here.
Yeah.
And I done seen a motherfucker. I done talked to a motherfucker just been like, yeah, woo woo, like I done
they
seen
be
some shit like
thinking you
that. Like
going to them
I
or
like your
trying to
shoes.
get them or
And the
something
motherfucker
like
hit
that.
me with the woo woo,
Some
and I'm like,
people
oh
do.
yeah, I get out the jam on their
Yeah,
ass.
but
Like for real, that shit happens. Like
But in
motherfuckers
business,
really be
but
on
in
that.
business, I really do think
Wait, what was the
sometimes you could just leave your compliments and everything out of the workplace too, though. Like you could really throw that out there. You don't have to tell Sally her shoes is nice today. You don't gotta say nothing to her. You're supposed to go in and work and go home. But if you do want to extend the compliment, then we are in 2019. You already know what it is. Be very careful on how you say, I like those shoes, per
I don't
se.
know. That's thing is
Don't
what
say
you
shit.
say
Just
is
look at 'em
always
and
how
keep
you
it
say it.
I promise. That's why.
But then people call you
Hey,
mean.
baby, I like them shoes. Your calf muscles looking nice. I
That's
see you
no,
get
no,
flexible
okay,
over
okay,
there.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
We need a better example.
It's the tone of the shoe.
The way to dent your knee. That went in.
That wouldn't even work.
like your calf.
I got these
elbow
amazing
poke
legs,
out,
though. I
it's
hear
like-
it every day. Like if you
That's
add a
your
tone
sexy.
to that,
Like
it's
the way your earlobes
it's
hang.
literally-
You can get in trouble for that, but I can't see a man getting in trouble for saying, yo, I like your shoes.
Well, it depends. If you
So
tell
like,
me
use a
my
better
shoes,
example. Like, yo, I like your legs, or you
guess.
look nice today.
You got a point.
I
That's
mean,
a great compliment. You look nice.
Right.
today.
Hey
guys.
And since we talking about hugs,
That's the
I'll
other
tell
like your
y'all
ass
this.
look nice and that's
See, we talking about hugs.
Wait.
We gotta have this time to do this because
Hey,
we got
guys.
group therapy.
Hey, look, I'm gonna keep
Hey,
it
guys.
real. Hey, hold on.
Let us voice this. Don't stop
Hold
this.
on,
Let us talk real quick. We talking now with this whole thing about the hugs and getting hugs from women at the same time. You know how y'all was just talking about men, hug and they do too much. They rubbing backs. They doing all types of things like that. it's a lot of women out here doing too much with the men too.
Here we go.
And
I'm to the point now. I'm to the point now.
I'm
I just like, especially if I don't know you, I just ask, can I hug you, or is it okay if I hug?
Come on, man. You
got to. I mean, but it depends on the context. Like, I don't just do that to
I dap people.
just
I don't
who
care.
like every woman I see.
No,
Like,
I
if
see
we
a
have,
certain
like,
people like don't. I got a line that you don't cross,
Yeah,
and when you
I
hug me,
feel that
don't
okay.
do shit like hugging my ribs and
Yeah.
squeezing my ribs.
Don't
And,
put your
and you
ears
feel me?
in
All
this
type of
strawberry
shit.
region,
Like a
and then
motherfucker
we got
can go a little too
sensation.
low. I done had time. I was in the club. I be in the club, chilling at the bar. You feel me? And motherfucker to come up and, how you doing? Like, seriously? That's how you say hello? Like, motherfuckers really do that shit and think it's alright.
That's aggressive.
You feel me?
Hell no.
But that's
you
real
went to the
deep.
club.
She molested you in the club.
What's your response?
What he do though?
What's my response?
It's a thing, though.
What was your response?
It
What was your response to it?
Okay, now my response, damn,
Right.
damn, you doing a little too,
Alright, look.
like, back up off me a little
Look,
bit.
hold
you
on,
know?
hold on.
And that's not the proper way to, like, I'll say something like, that ain't the proper way to come at me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't that type of person. I swear to God, I tell the motherfucker, I be like, I ain't that type of person. But it's certain situations where, yeah, I done been like, okay, what's your name? Like, can I get the
So
know
what?
your
Ain't matter
name?
if she cute or if she ugly. When
No,
she do that?
it depends on the vibe that I get from that person and what
Also,
mood
it's
I'm
the
in that
vibe.
night.
So for some people, it's the looks, and for
So
some,
if
it's
it's
the
one
vibes.
drink in or 5 drinks in.
If I'm 5 drinks in and I'm single and I'm at the club and I'm ready to do some things and you do some things to me like that and I like it and I'm like,
Skip on past
you
that.
feel me?
Like, come on.
But if I'm not on that and I'm just chilling, because sometimes I go to the club not to do all that. I come to the club because John performing, or Cam performing. I'm just a motherfucker fooling, drinking my little, you feel me? I don't want nobody to touch me, none of that shit. I don't even want to be seen.
Hey, this is why last
And then
week
you
we
come
didn't
in
have any
touching.
wine.
You know what I'm saying? You say what?
This is why last week we didn't have any wine.
I haven't drunk anything. What are you talking
Right.
Right, can you put your
So,
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a critical point that we should analyze.
Nigga, you did drink something, by the way. What the fuck is you talking
I
about?
didn't. I didn't have no cup.
Why you always getting tough?
Right.
Right, I'm
What is it?
right.
Where
Let me stand up in this motherfucker.
Like, I don't
Right.
understand.
Stand up, but why they in his sweaters and shit? Don't call me. Fuck me.
First of all, what was the question?
Look, the nigga ain't just stand up. He stand up and grab his hand. You know a nigga mad, they grab his
Make you feel like
hand.
a baby. You gonna
Can we
cry.
listen to BK? Can we listen to BK? Because BK was about to do a critical point. BK.
No,
I
yeah,
just
go
want
ahead.
to talk about the origin of these things. We know that America is based off rape culture. So I'm just sitting here listening to y'all, and I'm like, dang, his experience is true. Okay, his experience is true. What she's saying is true. And it's like we've made showing each other affection so inhumane that it's weird as fuck.
You know
Like,
what's
we
crazy?
sitting here thinking about this, and, you know, the main thing is all of this, once again, is generationally. You know, I feel like when you have, you know, the thing we talked about, the men hugging women, I respect that he would ask a woman to hug her, because in 2019, you do got to do that shit, because you got a lot of people now, they looking at it like, oh, I could sue a nigga for this, or I could take a nigga to jail for this.
That's
You
why.
know what I'm saying? And then you
We're just some
have
thirsty broke
females
shit,
that
by the way,
do
to
too
add.
much. Like you said, you give a female a compliment on her shoes. There's no way Shorty should blow up over that shit. She could say thank you and keep it moving. But then, like when John was talking about, you know, he's had women walk up to him and say, oh, don't work with this artist. You know what I'm saying? He raped me. I think, like, sometimes, you know, we get in intimate situations and maybe a female may say no, and some niggas don't know how to take no. They feel like, well, bitch, you here, you done smoke my weed, you done drink my liquor, I done took you out, bitch, you gonna give me this pussy, and then they mad, they not thinking about it like, that's not consent, bro, that's rape. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like in a lot of situations, it'd be hard for you to kind of believe, like, this thing happened because you're looking at this person, and this may not be their public demeanor, but then you don't know who this person is privately, or you don't know how they think about sex, and that's just what American culture is. Like, think about how many times other men from other cultures come here and they raping women. You know what I'm saying? They going back to their countries, or just the fact of you have every day where some men do be inappropriate. It happens to me more so than often that sometimes I, a jump like, nah, nigga, I don't want you hugging me, or what you complimenting me for it, because it's a constant experience for women, especially women of color.
I'm a defense bust to just pick at everything. It's like, I don't want you to do nothing. Don't say nothing to me if you're not my man. If we already established that.
I think
we looked at as bitches and got
but really,
that's
like
okay.
a little nervous.
It's better than being mistreated.
It is.
No, that's totally better.
Like, I know. Coming up, like I coming up, I know we used to look at like Mean Girls, like, yo, man, she's so fucking mean. Like, I ain't gonna say what we used to call them, but it was like, yo, now that I got daughters, I see like, yo, that's what you gotta be low key, cause niggas is predators.
Yeah,
I'm a predator. I ain't gonna lie about. I was a predator.
Just saying.
It ain't changed. Nothing changed after the baby.
But like, is that's natural though.
Okay, can I go on a different route?
Double, like this whole conversation, we got it. One thing we gotta acknowledge before we go forward is that double standards do exist, and that's okay.
Can I state another African fact?
Domestic violence.
Yep.
Can I state another African fact?
Then that exists, and that double standard should exist. Why should she go to jail if double standards exist?
Another African fact in Nigeria, men hold hands when they're having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna let that. You know what I'm saying? Just to share a perspective. You know what I'm saying, of another culture, because when we are outside looking in, when we're coming with brotherly love, when we're coming with all my people, I want to make sure everybody is shining. People will say, hey, what is going on? What are you doing? Meanwhile, I'm just giving you love and you're giving me problem. Go and fuck yourself then. Perspective, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
What can I do? It kind of bring it back all the way back around to y'all confrontation. We have all these things happening in our world. For me, I'm not that aggressive. I'm aggressive enough where it matters. However, I have a temperament where I hate confrontation. I hate feeling animosity between somebody. So my nature is to be nice. My nature is to be kind. My nature is to be like, oh, hey, how you doing? Why do I have to start to adapt to an aggressive nature because of what I'm experiencing? Maybe 1, 2, 3. You don't ever know who you might bless by just being nice, by giving a hug. So that's what I'm saying. It's a problem because we have all this stuff going on, and maybe a different men will be fighting at that situation y'all had at the last podcast because of what we've all experienced. I feel like we didn't took love and touching. I was raised by a grandmother, so of course hugs for me is rough. But now that I'm starting to hug more, be around kids, it saves lives. Why do we have to adapt to what we have already packed with our lives now? Why can't we choose to adapt in a different route? My brother, I ain't mean it that way. Yeah. But I would like to say, I hate the way you talking right now. Yeah. But it's all love. Can you please not touch me like that? Oh, my bad, baby girl. I didn't mean it. You know, I just think you're attractive. Why do we gotta go, who the fuck you touching? Well, baby girl, I mean, what you got on? Why do we gotta be aggressive on both ends? Teach your kids. The kids that me and Gina be talking to, they a little aggressive. Damn, the pants look good on you. Baby, you say nice. You look nice for a woman. I'm an adult. You look nice. Swear to God, it happened. One of my kids now says, you look nice. I'm affecting you.
You know what that boy thinking in his head?
It don't matter. It don't matter.
You funny as hell, but that don't matter.
You look nice.
You turn around, he bite that lip. Shit in our head. He bite that lip. Motherfucker, I don't say shit.
That's a lack of respect, though. Because what she
Hey, what he do? He bite that knuckle?
You can say it all you want to in your head, because a lot of times I think it's love and shit, but I'm about to just grab you like, what up, baby?
You know what? That go back to that first question about us working together collectively. I think people act like that because they don't see value in themselves. So if I don't see value in myself, I see somebody that look like me, I'm not gonna see value in you. So, you know, when motherfuckers getting all aggressive and like, oh, nah, fuck you, nigga, I'm gonna knock your ass out. That's because the motherfucker don't see value in themselves. It's our people. It's about being unempathetic and not having discernment.
I don't think that's always the case. Yeah. Sometimes people got a lot of value in themselves and they trying to defend that shit.
I don't think
society where a lot of people get a lot of.
I had to do that shit. Wale just stunned on me.
A lot of value.
I love this nigga, but I can't go out like that. My nigga, so I low key. I went into the second half of the conversation looking for a confrontation.
Wait, but look, is it having a lot of value in yourself, or is it ego and pride? It's a difference. Arrogance is not having value in yourself.
I guess I have to go back and say it was part of my ego.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
It took a while.
I'm still my nigga. But look,
That's how you do that shit.
Y'all making me emotional.
No, you know what's crazy? I think there's a difference between 1990 and 1994 and then 1995 to 2000 because all of us in the beginning of 1990, we grew up with old heads who used to talk a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And then not all of us grew with our kids, or some of us grew up too fast to hang up around people who are just older than us. That computer age just hit a whole different, you know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn, I get mad at myself, not just when I talk to women, but when I talk to my own parents. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know my parents sometimes, and I feel like my parents don't know me. You know what I'm saying? So how do I really grow and be comfortable with another man besides not giving a fuck what another man feels unless I'm comfortable? I gotta be comfortable and secure in myself first before I even give myself to anybody else, woman or man. And in that, my ego, I do my best to keep it intact.
You know what? I think so. One of the most interesting things I did. I don't even remember the name of this program I did, but they were talking about like guys that have trouble like socializing with other men. Is sometimes a subconscious effect of not having a father. So there's an ingrained sense of distrust toward other men.
there's that standoff.
Yeah, that natural standoffishness.
Yeah.
And it is like it's not in the it's subconsciously, but for some reason.
But sometimes it's necessary. It's like that's the thing about life. It's like sometimes you can do some shit and it works, and then sometimes you can do the exact same thing and it just go to hell.
But
and it's like you just kind of
love that.
And that's life. So it's like
no, that's not life. That's not life.
Wait a minute. Yes, that is life.
In the tone of two genders becoming friends, though, or two genders being able to socialize with each other, if you don't have a father who's nice to you or whatever wasn't there, you don't know how to be a friend with a man. You don't look at an older man as if a leader. I'm a woman who, me and my mama, we like best friends, but we fight type best friends. Like, you beef and then y'all come back. So like every 6 months, I feel like we having this moment where she just ready to go at it. So I'm like, with my female friends, you can ask me. I got one that I talk to about everything, and then she's 26, one on 27, and I'm 22. So I chose her to be my friend because I said, I don't know how to be friends with older women. I don't even know how to respect them because I feel like fuck what you talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Fuck you, all that. It's just fuck. And then I had to realize, like, low key, you do care. You really do wish that older women and regular girls in your age group would be like, hey, talk to you or make you feel comfortable in who you are. When first I had to figure out I'm comfortable with who I am, and then I became friends with these older girls and girls I'm a model and I don't have no model friends. He asked me today, do you know this model? You know this model? So I can interview. I'm like, honestly, nope, don't care, never cared. F them, and it's like, no, don't be like that. I have to be
that rolls back to having self-value. Because if I see value in myself, I'm going to see value in you.
Value in myself, I think I need to have more value in other women. I have value for myself, but I built so much value with myself that I don't want to let other women come in and try to shred that up like my mother does. Arguments and all that.
You can have value in yourself, but not have value in relationships.
Yes, I don't value no, and that's why that's exactly why last podcast I'm like, I don't want that. I can wait because I don't value relationships with men or women right now because I don't have a father figure, and the mother relationship is kind of rocky. So I'm accountable for all of that because that's something I figured out. I'm like, this
a lot of times when we have self experiences with somebody, we kind of project that on other people. Like since my relationship with my mother is bad, I think every female is there to
they all
be like my mother. I look at them like that.
They hating on the low.
But it's
That sound like
the case. Accountability is a motherfucker because every time try one time. You gotta have to with somebody in your life. Ask yourself 12 questions about why. I literally have to do that because daddy issues with mug on this end. So I'm just like, okay, why am I really angry at you? Because you weren't in my life. Okay, what about that fucks me up? I have abandonment issues. Okay, what about that? How can that make me better? I have to literally dissect myself down to the grit so I can really feel like what really pissed me off about you.
And
it ain't you, it's me.
And losing friends is okay in that process.
Right, and it's okay. You really have to be accountable because it starts with you. I don't want to be that. I want a husband. I don't want to walk around like I don't need no nigga. It's not cool for somebody to say, "Oh, you act like a nigga." That's my accountability. People should do that more for themselves so that they have better relationships. And you on a great path because people walk around like I don't. Your mama don't care.
Yeah.
Most people who are older usually say, "I am who I am," and that's what it is.
Yeah, and the most older, not my experience ain't been so great neither though. Like I'm changing myself, but I have to learn. Like I can't walk away too from older women who do emit that same energy to me, because I'm not gonna say every older woman is just the greatest. Some of them be very vile. Like why you like that? You older and you literally hate young girls. You talk about them so bad. You don't want to teach them because they're not young no more. So I'm like, okay, cool. What can I do with that? I can literally walk away and find other people who like me and enjoy who I am. That's older, that's younger, that's females, that's males.
Well,
So my
Can I ask
question.
a question? Can I ask a question? My question is like, why do y'all immediately? Because this isn't the first time that I've heard a young woman say this. Like, oh, the older woman don't like me because she ain't young no more.
Well,
Why do y'all immediately go to that?
Let me go. Okay.
Because like, my thing is like, maybe she can be mad because like she been where you been at.
It's not
and
that.
your ass just
You
ain't
gotta
listening.
see. You gotta hear what
Let me
she's
clear-
saying.
let me clear that up. Let me clear that up.
Real.
Let me clear that up. By no means am I saying that all women that are older than me act that way. But from what I observed, if it's not so much that they're jealous, they look at you like, I've been there, done that, honey. You have no idea. Only because I have people in my life who I know love me. It's just they kind of look like, I wish that you could do better than what you're doing off of just assuming. It could be a variation of things. I'm not saying I have problems with older women. I love the wisdom. I wish it was more. However, I've been hurt, still am, where sometimes you get these conversations from women and you're just like, are you even listening? Understand that I come from a different time. This is a different space I'm in. Understand it. And sometimes we have that distance.
They pass judgment. Like I could talk to you about some things and we'll be having this discussion. Then I'll get that whole, well, child, back in my day, woo, 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 and what you need to do is this, because this is the times, and y'all don't know no better. These young girls out here, and I'm sitting there listening like, well, damn, I was listening to you, but now I don't give a fuck what you say.
But now you can't be like that either. You kind of have to be like,
It's the same way with men.
I'm not saying.
But here's the thing.
Exactly
The
same,
time,
like-
because young people we gotta
After you
understand.
go-
We gotta
after you go-
understand. Like,
after you go
yo,
into
the
the
times
time-
change, but people don't.
That is
Yeah,
all-
we can
and
say,
that's
yo, we got
reality.
computers now. We could say, yeah, we got cell phones now. You ain't had none of that. But still, nigga, they was 16 just like you 16. They was 21 just like you 21. They was on the same shit. So we gotta kind of give, we gotta, like, that's, when we talk about the problem always kind of low-key start with young people thinking they know everything and not trying to listen. We get caught up like, yo, you ain't say it the way I wanted you to say it, so I'm not listening. But sometimes, nigga, this is a life or death situation.
It also comes. Hold on. It also comes from that conversation when you talking to a motherfucker and it's not that you know it all, but you know something about something that older person that you talking to don't know shit about. And they don't want to listen to you. And it ain't bullshit. Because I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm gonna give you a story. I'm gonna give you a story, bro. I was just at work talking to a motherfucker. Look, bro. I was just at work talking to a motherfucker. And don't be stubborn. Listen, this black week there. Right? So I was just at work. Nico, listen. I was just at work and I'm talking to a motherfucker. And now when I got out of college, I got a part of a certain lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? He knew nothing about the shit. And matter of fact, he told me, he was like, I used to read magazines and I used to call these numbers and try to, get involved with the shit, but it never fell through. Woo, woo. But I told him I've been a part of that lifestyle for about 5-6 years. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling him all the ins and outs and shit like that. But at the end of the conversation, what pissed me off is that I'm sitting here telling you about my real life shit that I fucking went through. And at the end of the conversation, what he told me is, shit, I'm 47. You know what I'm saying? Ain't shit nobody can tell me and woo, woo,
That's the
woo,
problem
woo.
right
That's the worst thing you can say to somebody who you older than, who you want to really look up to you. That's what you really want. If you don't know shit about what I've been through, don't talk to me about what the fuck I've been through.
Can I
Period.
please interject?
And I'm gonna let you speak while I just gotta respect.
And respect that
I'll
shit.
I'll say this, bro. There are some older people who don't know.
It's a lot of older people who ain't been through some of the shit these younger people don't been through.
There's a lot of old people who do, and you can't just write them all off.
We're not writing them
You're not
off.
writing them off. That's not writing them off.
Specific older women that I've
I
been
work
around
with elder
don't
people
work with
all
me.
the time, and I get her point and his point. Because I've experienced it. You have older people that do have wisdom, but they don't know how to communicate
Convey
to the
it,
younger
yeah.
generation.
But they also have to admit that they don't have wisdom about certain shit because they don't know everything, just like you don't.
They have to
Okay.
be equally held accountable as we're
I say that
held
with love.
accountable for our, you know what I'm saying, behavior. Because a lot of them have to understand that even though you've been through this, you've been 16 before, like Sister said, it's a different space and time. Yeah, we might have computers. Humans never change. We still birthing the same humans. But the intelligence level is different. The consciousness awareness is different. The frequency level
Thanks
is
to who?
different. You know,
Thanks
just
to who?
humans evolving, period.
Exactly.
But
I think we overthinking it.
Right, old people
We love old people.
Old people rock.
Yeah, respect to our
I
elders.
literally cry
Oh my
here.
God.
Like,
Respect to the
older
elders.
women that come around me trying to teach me nothing. I write status about this literally like probably once or twice a year. And I can say today I found somebody that's like, she's a model, she's super tall, and she's so fucking like fierce to me. And she called me and be like, how you doing? I want to know, because I know I got great, like stuff like that is stuff that I need to, I don't need you to come around me and be like, well, how you doing? Oh, well, shit, I've been there, done that. What you talking about ain't really shit. So let's move on to the next stuff.
That ain't the way to
And then I'm like,
I think everything boils down to dialect. I think we get our dialect right and the way we say stuff and the way our perspective of the way people say stuff to us, and we can have empathy and have dialect because, like you said, everybody don't know. It's a lot of people that's ignorant. So an older person might be like, nah, what you saying ain't shit. But they probably don't mean it like that. We have to be empathetic.
To help
That's
dynamic.
but you gotta remember,
Like I
as
said, I
humans,
feel like we should equally hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Because a lot of elders have a lot of wisdom. And if you want to pass that wisdom down, some of them have to be open to understanding and listening to us. They do not listen.
But I think
I want
young
blanket
people,
that
we
not
so
all.
quick, like you said earlier,
Not
to
all.
write people off. Oh, you not listening to me, fuck you, you old, da da da. I think a lot of times it comes with being empathetic. We know they ass old, they don't know shit.
But we
gotta
know that black
I ain't
parents,
talking about
older
you.
black parents, every black parent has a
Hold on,
different way
hold
of
on,
talking
hold
to their kid, first and foremost. When you a black kid growing up, the older people that your mom and your dad or whatever, a single mom, they don't be just like nice with the tongue when they leading you. They whip you, they yell at you. My mama is totally different.
That's not
So
black
it's
group
like the way you
therapy.
grow up with older people, then you get older, and
said
you
what?
got you got grandmas and granddaddies. You
in
like
black communities, it seems like older people have this thought of their word is law. If you do
Period.
not agree with them, I grew up in that type of household, and like,
And they be wrong.
I probably spent most of my life like legit hating my grandmother.
That shit
We
get you
had
tight.
a very bad relationship with each other, and most of it was because she just had this mentality of if you're not agreeing with her, then it's something wrong with you, and you're disrespecting her.
And that's
And
mental
they'll
abuse,
be
right?
like,
So how
I'm
do you
not
bridge that?
disrespecting
Can
you.
I?
But why in our culture?
I think the
Why in our culture? Why aren't we
Right.
empathetic with each other? But an old ass white man to say this what the fuck it is, this has been, this what it is. We like okay, we accept it as truth.
I promise
As
you.
Americans, but with black people though, we like oh I hate you, you not understanding nothing. But these other cultures come in and say no, this is what it is, cause this the way it was and this the way it is.
And we
we
don't
like okay,
debate it.
we accept it. Right, we don't debate it. Accept it.
We don't have
But it's our own people though.
Think about kids. Most of us are artists. We talk to kids all the time. What I notice is that when you when you actually choose to figure out what it is they're going through, what's their culture. I don't know how to have these answers, but I'm gonna shoot my ass off until you understand that I'm not against you. A lot of times, older people, they just completely say, "Oh, your music ain't shit.
Hey.
Oh, what's these dances? Oh, why you wearing them clothes? What the hell is a crop top?
Hey,
what is this?"
but
And
you
we
know what's
like,
crazy?
damn.
Low key,
Like,
the
you
older
don't
I
care.
get, I be agreeing with their ass. I be like, yo, rap is whack as shit.
But you see that generational.
I do too. So I understand where you coming from. Like shit, like.
As much as you can agree.
But the moment you
Maybe
but
they-
no, you have to receive
That's
that
your
shit.
We are becoming the elders.
Yeah.
So maybe they have to change. So that's why. Hey, that's why. Like, I've always been the type of person. I've always been the type of person to be like, yo, I know I may not know right now, but I'm gonna try to listen to somebody who I think knows.
Can I
always
speak to
try
you
to take heed.
Can I say one more
John,
thing?
can I speak
I've
to
always
you
been
then?
the type of person.
Because I've been holding my tongue, and I promise I'm not gonna raise my
Man,
voice.
you know this
up
Black
on
News
this
Day, bro.
platform.
We gotta yell.
Go
at
ahead.
you.
No,
I want to say something.
Okay, here's the fact.
Talk, y'all.
Here's the fact. When we first did the podcast, you said, "Yo, we yelling over each other," and the next episode you say, "Oh, we gotta yell over." You know, the more
Just
we
say what
yell
you
over,
say.
no, stop interrupting me. All right,
bro.
Stop interrupting me. The more that we yell at each other, the further our hearts get away from each other.
Yeah.
I'm trying to speak to you, bro. Let me speak to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? For real. Because now we teasing a topic that I just don't even want to yell about. You know what I'm saying? Because this right here is really therapy for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to speak to you directly. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. I'm dealing with something real. You know what I'm saying? My family dynamic is so fucking crazy that it will probably shock the most average. You know what I'm saying? I have more than 5 mothers. You know what I'm saying? I don't tell everybody that. I don't need to. But shit, I have so much example of wrong within my family that I address certain matters and I can't avoid certain issues. You know what I'm saying? Last time we got loud and we was, you know what I'm saying? We got loud and it was crazy and then it was a moment and whatever. But I watched that podcast and then I look at the conversation I had yesterday with my father. You know what I'm saying? You damn near did the same thing my father did. You know what I'm saying? Crazy as fuck because I wanted to open up to my father the same way I wanted to open up to you and everybody else watching. You know what I'm saying? And then you asked me, yo, well, how long you been together? Like, how long was supposed to determine my wisdom? My wisdom came from y'all, my example. And y'all so quick to interrupt the example y'all set for me. And the fact that y'all so scared of change is scary as fuck to me. Because I be trying to speak from the example that you taught me, G.
Is
So
it okay if I rub your back? I just,
yeah,
you know.
I appreciate you.
That's growth right now. Right there. That's growth.
It's okay, Wale.
Your feelings.
Yo, you
I
know
gotta practice that
that's
empathy.
crazy.
I'm
Watch it grow.
Here's the
No, I
thing.
want
No, it's crazy as fuck because she rubbed my back. She rubbed my back and I felt home immediately.
Somebody want to come give you a hug real quick, Wale. Go get Wale
Why
a
would I
hug.
avoid that kind of
Go
love?
ahead,
We should all just hug
Embrace
each
that
other.
man.
Just go ahead and take a hug, man. The man trying to give you a hug, brother. Take the hug, bro.
I appreciate you, G. For real. But do you get that perspective as an adult, you know what I'm saying, who has wisdom, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I think as teachers, as leaders, we have to understand that just because we're teachers and leaders with all this wisdom doesn't mean that everybody wants to learn from you. That doesn't mean that everybody has to follow you.
That don't mean you're always right either.
It doesn't mean that
That's
you're always
it.
right.
Say that. I don't gotta want to
Doesn't
learn
mean
from
that you
bro.
don't
You know,
have anything to learn.
Especially if you in a group full of motherfucking leaders yourself. If you in a group of motherfucking leaders yourself, this is the hardest lesson that I fucking learned, but I learned this motherfucking lesson. If you are a leader, you cannot lead a group of leaders. Don't try to fucking lead a group of
Never
leaders.
try to big homie a
Don't
big
do that
homie.
shit.
But okay, this is what.
Never
All you
try
can
to
do
big
is
homie
let
a
me
big
finish,
homie.
'cause I ain't finished my steak.
That's ego.
Y'all got the 3 biggest egos.
Hey,
in
look.
the world.
Ego.
No, I don't
Ego
know.
is out today.
If you were a group of leaders, Jack, the biggest thing you could be is a facilitator. You can facilitate things, but you cannot lead a pack of fucking wolves and your ass a
So would you say us African Americans is a pack of wolves that people, as people, we should
And you
facilitate amongst each
recognize
other? 'Cause
that
that's true.
everybody is a leader. You have a group, and everybody should
That's
actively
accountability.
be, you know what I'm saying,
Everybody should have
transitioning
roles.
leaders.
And contribute.
Everybody should be
Yeah.
transitional
Like-
leaders.
Everybody should have
And
roles.
you're not a real leader if you can't allow somebody else to lead you. I'm a leader when I walk in every room. Before I came here, I had the biggest dispute with BSU. And honestly, I feel like I'm the best person they got on the team. Nobody don't got the skills I got. But I I don't like using the word humble because I'm not a humble person. I'm not inferior to nobody. But I had to regroup myself and tell them, because I had to remember what my end goal was. You know what I'm saying? That I had to tell them, like, you know, we all are leaders. We all have something to contribute. But at the same time, you know, we all have to hold ourselves accountable for what we all dropped the ball on, because you're dealing with different people that everybody has a different type of leadership.
Right.
So instead of saying, like, when you're working with a group of leaders, you don't lead. You're not a real leader if you can't follow the next leader, because you don't know everything.
But you're facilitating more so than leading. You feel me? You're facilitating.
Wait, can we go back to why black people can't work collectively?
I think, but this right here.
Word. I think just saying that, you know, I would say sharing your experience, you know what I'm saying, with a person. Because you can't, if you working with a different leader, and like how you say, you can't lead this leader, I mean, that person don't know how to put their
in their mind, they like, yo, I should be leading
this shit. Leader that you
regardless of my skills.
Is that why black people can't work
at the front, even though I might drive this shit to the ground?
They don't want you to, if you come up across those people that you, like how you describing, saying like, you know, you want to facilitate this, you gotta more so be a person that, okay, look, from my expertise, this is my experience. You may not take my advice, but this is how I look at it. It's more so you gotta get into a point of where you becoming an advisor, where you becoming a person that's providing a consultation, more so than facilitating something. Because if you facilitating something, that means you already got the go ahead, and that's where most leaders start bumping heads. It's like, who the fuck asked you to facilitate that? I didn't ask you for that shit. You didn't even advise me first.
See, but I feel like that's the issues that you all are having with elders.
Yeah.
They just give and say, I'm gonna do this, or you should do this, and you should do that. And on the other hand, you're saying that I asked you about that, and my situation is different. And as not being the elder, it's like, I want to lead. I'm the leader. I know where I'm at, but I think just if you empathy, relax a little bit, and because I do feel youth today is so many different things, like different outlets, social media, this and that, and the youth is evolving differently. So it's easier for the youth to help bridge that gap by like showing empathy and just saying, hey, you know, I'm gonna listen for a second. Like, yeah, let them be the asshole, let them say this, let them say that, but relax a little bit and work that way. I did it with my mom. Like, when I tell you, like, my mom is a Cancer, and what she say is what she say. She's stubborn. It is what it is. But when it comes to me, out of all her 5 kids, anything she tell me, like, she'll say it, and she'll say it in whatever way, and I just, you know, let her say it. Yeah. And then I respond in a way to say, well, have you thought about, maybe I'm looking at it like this, or have you thought about it in a different perspective? And then she relax herself and open up. So sometimes it's just giving those elders those different perspectives and allowing them to see the world has evolved, the world has changed.
But and a nation is only as strong as the bridging of the gap between the old and the young. It's building a nation. If we are against each other in every aspect of the way, our nation will never come together.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's still an accountability factor on older people. But it's accountability on young. You're not too young, but you're not too old to where you can sit there and say everybody deserves respect or empathy or whatever it takes to make it work between y'all two, young and old. But like, if I'm becoming 21 or I'm becoming 22, I'm an adult. Or I'm 25, I'm an adult. You may be 46, you may be 55. But I'm an adult.
You're right, so but nothing is new under the sun. You have to still soak up
wisdom. As an older person, have to evolve with the times. You can sit there and say, oh yeah, I may be stuck and I may have learned this, but accountability comes into effect for everybody. And you have to realize, okay, well, these children could be empathetic. These children of today's time are more empathetic than me. I could practice that with them to make it work. I could practice that because it's a way to lead people. You have to adjust to the way that those people are. Humans think different. We are all different people from different time zones in this one room today.
When you can't be accountable for yourself, who's accountable for you?
Exactly.
I'm gonna say this.
I think that arguing, and then now you mad.
A lot of people gonna
if that older person can't be accountable for themselves, who's helping them be accountable? Who's helping them grow?
Well, they don't have to be accountable. They already lived their life. If they trying to tell you something,
but that's how they trying to be.
Listen,
and your tone of voice right now is talking to somebody like
all they doing is recommending some shit.
I'm not gonna
if you're grown,
you can't receive it.
Let me finish. All right, it's your fault. If you don't receive somebody told you some shit and you like, yo, I don't like the way you told me that shit. Even though you right, I don't like the way you told me that shit. I'm not gonna fucking go listen. When you go out and fuck up, it's your fault.
But you told me that they was right. You told me that they was right. Being old don't make you right. Being old don't make you right.
I've gotten
so you
advice.
saying they was right and I was wrong. Being old don't make you right.
I had people tell me shit.
Being old don't make you right.
Can I ask you a question?
No. I done had people tell me shit, and I did not like the way that they told me that shit, but they was right. And I had to accept that shit.
And
every young person want to be successful. If you want to be successful, you got to understand how to take that shit, no matter how the fuck it comes. Motherfuckers be getting caught up in their feelings. And they white man to get out here and do shit.
The youth are so fucking sensitive that they all, to me, young people
Wait. John, right there. What you said, John, right there.
It'll never be that way. Old people will never all be right. Young people never all be wrong.
That was a breaking moment, guys. That was a breaking moment, guys. Let him live that. Please don't yell over his moment. Let him catch it, okay? Let him catch it, all right? You just said, I'm sorry. I know that most people don't get the chance to live that life because they don't get the chance to sit in that moment. You know what I'm saying? You just said that when you was older, you know, when you was younger, someone gave you advice and you said, fuck that shit, G. I'm gonna go do my shit, and then you recognize that shit, it was right. But the person that gave you that advice didn't give it to you in a way that you could perceive it.
Separate the message from the messenger.
Separate the what?
Wait.
Separate the what?
Please say it again.
Two different type of people.
Separate.
Wait.
Don't exist, but people.
Wait. John, one time. Please say it again.
What he's saying.
Because I said that in the box.
You
judge the messenger, you miss the
not
message.
able to get through to you. And the reason they was not able to get through to you is because the way that they brought the message. You caught that message years later. All we're saying is empathy needs to be there. And I'm saying don't give up on the elders and be like, fuck you, I'm going my way. Instead, help the elders learn to communicate in a way where they can get you on that first trip, and years later you're not figuring it out. You just said
you think you're gonna change an old person. You gotta understand.
You're not old.
Wait. Time out, Black Group Therapy. Can you say what you said again, John? Say what you said. No. Say it again. When you judge the messenger, you miss the message. No matter who it's coming from. When you judge the messenger, you miss the message. That's why it's a lot of
not judging the messenger versus how you receive something. I'm not judging you because I received it negatively. I'm not saying you a bad person. The way you just came and said that was negative. Years later, this person is now saying, I received it years later and shit like that, but you still yell at people and you still negative. You settle. Because for a whole bunch of time, you've been practicing that same shit. They said it, but I ain't get it. You still doing it. You don't fucking realize it. You sitting here yelling, now I'm yelling because I get tight quick. So now I'm like, well, what we doing because blah, blah, blah. But in reality, I have already taken accountability, so I'm going to lower my tone because I can fucking do that. What y'all not going to do is sit here and act like it ain't no old people out here that be coming off disrespectful and wrong. And you can't get a pass because you old. I'm not doing it. I'm 20. I'm going to be old. And I'm not going to do nobody kid like that and say, well, respect me because I'm old. No, I'm going to take accountability and try my best to have empathy. And saying that, I agree. I could take some time to say, sometimes my mama, I could chill and just say nothing. And literally
you would be surprised how that
I really
John.
but she a Leo like me though.
Wait, bro. Hold on. Look, y'all. So look, time is up.
Are you gonna?
Time is up.
Time is
listen,
up.
damn, nigga.
She just said
I'm
something
finna let
powerful
everybody.
too.
I'm finna go through and let everybody say their last fucking words, bro. Like, is y'all chill? That's why I said niggas don't need wine and shit, bro.
It's not the wine.
Always need wine.
It's not the wine. It's not the wine. It's the therapy.
And look, and this is because I love you, bro. We gonna let you start first, bro. Like on this subject, make it short and sweet though, bro. Like don't make it long. Don't make it long. But like say what you want to say about this subject. Your closing statement on this subject, and we gonna wrap this up.
Okay. As a messenger, as a leader, as a teacher, you know what I'm saying? Be prepared to teach always because you have a lesson to teach.
Absolutely.
Be prepared for everybody to walk out the room when you're teaching.
Yes. Yes, I've been in college. They walk out on you doing that damn
You're gonna
thing
feel
right
alone.
before they leave, and the teacher be salty. Look back, half the class gone because they.
I'ma say-
Go ahead, Tati.
I'm gonna reiterate what you said. When you judge the messenger, you miss the message. Stop judging people. Be empathetic to people and stop believing that everybody is perfect. You're not perfect. So take that same accountability when you're looking at other people. Stop judging. Shit.
I'll snap on that. We gonna snap after everybody.
No.
Everybody gets snapped. Everybody gets snapped. All my love is valid.
Look at this nigga Will. What you gonna say?
I'll say this, man. Like, after all that shit we just said, learn from everybody, but use discernment and time to figure out what messages are meant for you at certain times. You know what I'm saying? But learn from everybody, because everybody, whether it's an elder or a child or somebody your age,
Never know what
everybody
it is,
got some shit to teach you.
Mm-hmm.
And piggybacking off of what he's saying, if you're gonna teach, at least have a delivery to where it's positive. You know what I'm saying? It's tough love, but you're not disrespecting that person. Because I've had a situation where an older person told me, "Oh, y'all millennials, y'all don't want nothing like when I was y'all age. I owned a house, owned a car, had 2 kids, married a whole 9." But I politely told them, "We're trying to unpack all these conditions we learned from y'all, from communication, the whole 9, and we trying to unbreak all these generational curses that came from with that, the generational, debt, the whole 9. So it's that's all.
That's it.
Yeah, it's all your delivery.
I'll snap on
Yeah.
that. I'll snap on that. Go ahead.
Curses
Okay.
for real.
Yeah.
So I wrote down, man.
I was arguing. I didn't tell you, nigga.
I wrote my closer.
So what I said was, be accountable. This applies to everyone. Remember that you're always a student and a teacher. Know that your self-concept is always changing, so own it. Uncle Nick.
Oh, you skipping yourself?
He's gonna be
Yeah, I go.
Funny.
No, I'll go now. I'm not special.
I felt that.
I think.
I just went.
I think that my whole point was this. Like, I know that there's a lot of old people, or a lot of elders. I don't want to say old people. There's a lot of elders who are wrong oftentimes. You know, I think that old fools do exist, but I also think that they became old fools because they were young fools, and they didn't take heed from older wise people. So my whole point with this whole conversation was, there's something in the spirit that lets you know that somebody's coming.
It's called discernment.
That they're speaking to you from the heart, and they're trying to like give you some information that you may really need to have in order to get through life. And I think that if we can remove our ego like we did today, then we can receive that. Men and women. If we can receive our ego, if we can remove our ego, if we can remove our anger, we can receive that no matter how much discernment we got towards it. So that's all I'm saying. It's like, no matter what you done been through with your mama, no matter what you done been through with your grandfather, your father, like, yeah, sometimes they may say some things that may lead you the wrong way, but sometimes they may say some things that may lead you the right way. You know, don't just completely write all of them off.
Take it with a grain of salt. Salt is still seasoned.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Okay, I just want to say to young people, please be decisive in who you open up to, and be very adamant in chasing your dreams. Do not let nobody, I don't care how old they are, tell you it's nothing, it's this, it's that. Nobody has the right to do that, no matter how old they are. You could take it with a grain of salt, or you can slap the shit out of them for being disrespectful. No. That's it.
That's the last word. Let
I'm not
him
gonna
keep
be the
it.
one to
That's
take
the
it.
last word. That's the last word.
All right.
Y'all next now.
Mine is 2 things: be always 10 toes down. That way, what you receive cannot affect you in any way, and you'll be 10 toes down and so solid in yourself that you will be able to give out the message that either could be received, and if it's not, you don't lose anything from yourself. And to just show love. You show love, you won't have any of the issues that we have. That's where it starts at. If for some reason it's been taken away from the option to take advantage of it, whether it's just being I guess DCF being called, DCFS being called, just small little things that they have that keep you from really sticking to who you are and sticking together. Yeah. So 10 toes down, show love.
I like that.
I forgot to snap.
Wait, stop with your shit.
No, it was like, you gonna see later, it was like, I got pick.
I have the unpopular opinion.
What I was trying to say, I think
You ain't the only one. No, we was
I think what it all comes down to, from what I heard, is understanding. Understanding of yourself and the person that you're speaking to, because that informs your discernment. You know, like if you understand, like, okay, this is an older person, they've lived a long life, so some of their biases from their life experiences are ingrained. So this is what they're speaking in me through, and it allows you to take the meat and leave the bones, as people say.
Ooh, why you want to spend the whole time when I was over here losing my mind? Look at you, that told me something new. I received that, and I can practice that. See, that I can take the meat from the bones. I can receive
But
that.
you don't eat the bristle though.
So it was the way he said it.
It was the way he said it, but you know, when people get that little bark in their voice when they yelling, I don't know who you yelling at that point, and I don't receive it. I'm that type of individual. It's all about your delivery, because once you get flipped with me,
you'll miss out on a lot of blessings if you let the delivery
I think
stop.
that's the understanding.
You gonna miss out on
I keep yelling this shit.
Nobody's not gonna listen to you. You're gonna be like, Wale, like, why ain't nobody letting me talk? Why ain't nobody listening when I talk? Because you don't know how to deliver shit. Like, you practice that.
That's the understanding piece.
Understanding
If you know the person,
Y'all know who else ain't know how to deliver shit but led a whole group of people?
Moses.
Exactly. Ooh, we on the same thing. He not deliver shit. Somebody else had to talk for him. Aaron had to talk for him now.
I can say that. I delivered it.
Y'all done all y'all conversation?
I'm just saying. He led a whole motherfucking nation. And he ain't not delivering nothing.
Like 9 more seconds.
And that's why it's like you would be like, yo, niggas can't talk in black group therapy because niggas be yelling. And
But niggas not talking like that. This how we get it. Like,
Start talking
you
five more
I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn.
That's the thing about having a squad.
No, but so yeah, I think that you all just proved my point. Is understand if you know the person that you're talking to, tend to get aggressive. You come into the conversation knowing, okay, they might start getting aggressive with me. So I need to like mentally prepare myself and focus on like what they're saying and not how they're saying it, and that makes you more receptive to it, and vice versa.
We got one more.
And then it makes you, better for it, helping them understand you.
Plain and simple, sort of piggybacking off of you all, is basically when you speak and teach, choose to move in love. And when you receive, choose to move with discernment. Like that way you're taking what you need and could keep it moving. But it's major, like when you said that, I'm like, she took it right out. Like when you choose to speak and teach, you gotta do it in love. That way it can be received in love. And then when you receive, you choose what you want to receive. You have your energy set up where that it is love, so that you can only receive what's coming to you in love.
and I can only give it back.
I
because
learned
that's
a
all
lot.
Because that's all you receive.
Yeah, that's how it
See,
works.
y'all giving you love, you gonna give y'all to me like just soothe my soul. I had a moment last night about my whole week, so that kind of just really worked. Like now I can really choose what I want to hear from her and not beef with her so much, so we could be closer. Because we not close, but we could be so much closer.
You're closer because you're aware of it.
Yeah, it's really me. It's really my accountability.
Check this out. Check this out, man.
Stop talking to me. How about you know I love you, girl? Mama, I love you. Yes.
I can use that too.
Okay, all right. I'm trying to wrap up the damn show.
Wrap it up then. Wrap it up.
That's all.
Wrap it up then.
Like, I be trying to. Hey, look, we had a whole list. Hold on, look, we had a whole list. We supposed to go through shit. I'm trying to like segue and all that shit.
Might have hit 1.5.
But niggas is like, I was like, yo, this ain't gonna work. It's too many people. Like, Squadcast be like, alright, I knew it. Like, niggas gonna be yelling.
But they gonna come back next week.
I think
that's what's gonna make us dope. It's like, yo, when you listen to us, you're gonna have to understand, like, we're gonna be yelling over each other, and hopefully we can get it together.
But in the end, we learned something.
I think
But shit, it's like that's what happened at kickbacks anyway. Everybody is.
Black people talk shit.
Listen.
accessible side, the healing side.
I think it's beautiful. I think like if they really watching with love, they'll be able to see
Pick
through
they meat
the
and get that love back in the comment section.
and see
Discernment.
the good intent.
And receive
The
the,
good
feeling
intent.
that they may need.
So we made it, man. We made it through episode 3. Like I said, man. My goal was like to get to 4 episodes, so we got one more episode, and I'm like, we're gonna have a pizza party out there like they did in elementary
Go for it.
school.
Go expensive cheese.
I don't need no cards. They trying to lose weight. I don't need no cards. I'm really trying this shit, y'all.
Real quick, man, we want to shout out the Loop 2150, man, for opening up their doors and letting us good black people come together. Make sure y'all follow them on social media. That's at Loop 2150. Anybody else want to shout out their social media?
King_Empress, KYNG_Empress.
Citizen X got bars. IG. And
At Miss Toddy, MZ.TATY. At Just a Mile Away Mental Health Services. It's Just a Mile Away MHS. Yeah, go follow that.
Oh, never mind. It's _the can. Shout out to #2019 relationship goals. That's my mama and her thing. So shout out to her.
Okay, anybody else?
My name
I'm gonna let him go. Fuck it.
that is.
My name is Wale Abdul. You can find me at Royal Views.
Okay.
With the Z.
I'm
With a
BK
Z.
Gets Her Way on everything.
All right.
Simple.
Where can I go? Grow. Yana _Renee, RENEA, not EE like your mama had. RENEA.
Like your mama.
All right.
Still talk about the other.
It's always your own people.
W.ill on IG, you hear me? WDOTILL_, right? Eat well to gods.
Eat.
_ you hear me?
They're not
I'm starting to go fund me for my lunch
Oh,
tomorrow. I need some. Come on,
If
put a
you
little
hear
money
me
in
a
there.
part of
Cool.
Collection plate.
All right, cool. All right, and you can find me, John _the author, man. This is Black Group Therapy. We out. Peace.
Hey.
Bye.
Y'all niggas is crazy.